This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Thursday, May 14th, 2026 in the afternoon. Today, we focus on the first public kernel memory corruption exploit on the Apple M5 chip, the removal of modem and GPS hardware from consumer vehicles for security, the emergence of the research, teach to learn, and critique prompting paradigm, and Cisco's massive AI-driven restructuring. A security researcher has published the first public kernel memory corruption exploit for the Apple M5 processor. This is a critical development for macOS security. The research demonstrates how to bypass hardware-level protections to gain arbitrary code execution at the kernel level. By exploiting specific memory management patterns unique to the M5 architecture, the researcher proved that even modern, hardened silicon is susceptible to sophisticated logical attacks. This is not just a theoretical proof. It provides a roadmap for persistent threats to maintain control over the device without triggering standard security alerts. This finding serves as a signal that as hardware becomes more complex, the surface area for kernel-level persistence is widening, necessitating a reevaluation of how we trust low-level hardware security primitives. We are seeing a growing movement of vehicle owners physically removing cellular modems and GPS modules from their cars. A recent case study involving a 2024 Toyota RAV4 hybrid highlights this trend. Owners are increasingly concerned about the telemetry and location tracking data harvested by modern automotive platforms. By disconnecting these modules, users are regaining control over their vehicle's digital footprint. However, this is a complex operational task. It often requires bypassing internal checks that trigger dashboard error lights or disable core functionality like remote start or navigation. This shift reflects a deepening distrust of connected vehicle ecosystems. It is a signal from the future. As cars become rolling data centers, the right to privacy is being enforced at the hardware level, with owners choosing to physically sever the connection to the manufacturer's backend. A new three-stage prompting paradigm called Research, Teach to Learn, and Critique, or RTLC, is significantly lifting the performance of LLM as a judge systems. Benchmarks show that even strong instruction-tuned models struggle with objective correctness in pairwise comparisons. RTLC fixes this by forcing the model to first research the query, then teach that information back to itself to verify coherence, and finally, critique its own logic. This approach is inspired by the Feynman learning technique. It addresses the hallucination problem by building an internal feedback loop before the final answer is provided. This is a crucial step toward more reliable automated evaluation in agentic pipelines. Cisco has announced the termination of nearly 4,000 employees as part of an aggressive shift toward artificial intelligence. The restructuring is aimed at reallocating resources into high-growth AI infrastructure projects. This follows a pattern seen across the broader technology sector, where companies are sacrificing headcount to secure compute resources and AI software development capabilities. Cisco's stock rose 17% following the news, indicating that financial markets are rewarding firms that aggressively pivot to prioritize AI-centric infrastructure over legacy operations. Community sentiment remains focused on the nightmare Eclipse leaks, specifically the new yellow key and green plasma zero-day vulnerabilities in Windows. These leaks continue to dominate technical discussion, with researchers scrambling to mitigate the risks posed by these disclosures. In the development community, we see excitement regarding a new web scraper API called Runo, which claims to be 6 to 7 times more efficient by returning typed, structured JSON directly, bypassing traditional parsers. Additionally, the conversation around chiplet workflows is intensifying. As multi-die assemblies become standard, the industry is demanding repeatable, system-level workflows to identify risks before fabrication. Security professionals continue to advise the shift toward dynamic secrets management, warning that static API keys are the primary liability in modern infrastructure. Finally, we are monitoring a persistent phishing campaign targeting users via fake Netflix clones hosted on GitHub. These sites are being used to harvest credentials, serving as a reminder that even legitimate development platforms can be repurposed for large-scale social engineering. Always verify the source and domain before entering any credentials.